Yo, what up, people? My name is Lewis Lee from All Ins Media, and this is Playing in Traffic. We are live on YouTube, so if anybody is on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe so we can keep it moving.
Hit the bell.
Oh, hit the bell. Hit the bell.
Wow. That bell.
All right. We got some company here. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hey, my name's Chris with ITW Hot Rods.
I'm Robin with ITW Hot Rods. And Chris.
And Coverman 66 in the house as always.
Coverman 66
in the house.
So Robin and Chris, we met of this year, and they had some exciting vehicle there. Please explain your vision of this vehicle.
My bad idea. My bad idea that came to life.
Yeah, it's bad, right? It's awesome.
Awesome.
So it's a well, really what's left of a 59 Chevy El Camino. Here, let me move my head. It's right there. Yeah. It's what's left of a 59 Chevy El Camino. We shortened the car by about 4 feet. We narrowed it up 10 inches in the rear and 6 in the front. Moved the cab back into the bed. So the bed now is only 2 feet instead of 8 feet long. Threw an 800 horse small block Chevy in it, and been tearing up the tires ever since.
And pistons.
And pistons.
And you know what's funny? My uncle, because like everyone knows the story about me at 9 years old, South Carolina, the dirt roads. That's where I got my first taste of driving muscle cars. My uncle had that same 4-door vehicle that you did, the El Camino. Same exact. Yep. And I thought, oh my God, this is the ugliest looking vehicle. It was just long. So he has the same one in white with blue interior. I think he still has.
That's what I didn't like about it when it's, off. When I see it, in its original form, it looks like the butt's kind of dragging. The way the fins are kind of level, but that body line below the fin is kind of drooping down, and that always kind of, I don't know, it just always looked funny to me. So I made mine level and started from there.
You put your foot in it, man, because that car was beautiful. I mean, when I saw it, it was it there in 2018?
No, just 19.
Just 19, okay, because I met you guys in 2018. I met y'all, the first SEMA I went to was 2018. I met you guys. And by the way, they're the sweetest people. If you're fortunate enough to run into them, they're
most definitely.
Cool people.
Oh, we got you guys fooled.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sure do.
Oh no, we really enjoyed meeting you guys as well, both of you. We didn't meet you until this past year, Lewis.
Right. Well, the car caught me. I'm walking by, like, man, something different about this. And then Terry's like right behind me. I was like, oh, okay, wait a minute, let's stop and check this out.
Wait a second, that was the first time you saw that car?
Yeah.
When you stopped me in the video?
Yeah.
Really? Because I saw it, and I was talking to Chris and Robin, beforehand, and I was like, this is awesome, And I was just sitting there for like maybe 20 minutes trying to figure out, he cut this piece and
see that's that's the thing, when you're looking at it, you're like, okay, what did he do? And then you're trying to figure out every little piece, and then you walk away and come back and you see something else. You're like, wait a minute, I didn't see that last time.
It is really fun to see people kind of do like a reverse puzzle. It's all they kind of dissect it, and they kind of reverse the puzzle and try to figure out, well, this was up here, and just because he moved the cab back into it, that makes such a big difference, and it really messes with people's mind when they try to dissect it, because it looks like, quite honestly, what he did is he made it look like it was born that way, and it looks like it's supposed to be that way, so it's so hard to dissect it and expand it back out to what it used to be.
No, you're too kind to me.
I know. I might have a sign on him.
She's trying to get dinner later.
Exactly.
I already got dinner. He already cooked me dinner.
Yeah, I cooked tonight.
All right.
Yeah. Again,
Ray, this is our man Ray from Motormouth Radio.
Good evening. Hey, Ray. How are you?
Hi.
We would have introduced you at SEMA to him, but he don't go.
Right. Oh, okay.
We're trying to get him out there.
Guys. I get it.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna make it this year, especially with the COVID. I don't think Ray's gonna.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Not this year.
Yeah, nothing's happening.
We'll be there if it happens.
If it happens, yeah.
You know, if it does happen, I think it's going to be a very good year because everybody's been cooped up and, you know, no car shows. So it's going to be, you know, really fired up, I think, if it happens.
It's gonna be
I would think it'd be a little bit off the hook, but I wonder if the vendors will have the money, you know, with everything kind of being shut down, if they'll have the money to set up booths like they usually do. And that's kind of confusing.
A few I've spoken to, I've talked to a few vendors, and they said we're going to be there. If it's on, we're on.
Yeah,
that's good.
And booth. So.
I was talking with Aeromotive, and they said they already got their booth. They're ready. Nelson Gill, he's ready. You know.
Yep.
So I think
I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be more personal because, you know, like you said, people won't have the money like they usually do. So I think that's gonna force people to interact a little more.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yep.
That would be. I agree. I think it'll be a little bit easier. You know, so often you kind of wade through a crowd and you try to get your time to talk to people. So I think that's a really good way to look at it, Louis. So we're going to have an opportunity to really kind of connect even that much more. So always looking for the positive.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what we are about here. It's positive.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So what new projects are you working on? Well, first, tell us about your company. When did you open? And
so ITW is real small. We probably opened about 5 years ago, and it's basically just me and Robin, just doing what we got to do, getting through the grind. So I have a daily job and do ITW stuff at night when I come home from the daily job.
Okay.
Cars 24/7, 7 days
There
a
you
week.
go.
Yeah.
And by the way, congratulations. I think you had a grandson or something like that? A granddaughter?
Yeah, I had a granddaughter, Nova. My oldest daughter had a little girl, and she named her in March. So she was literally born the hour that President Trump came on and declared a pandemic. As we were sitting there waiting for the C-section, we were watching the president say this. So I'm like, what an hour to be born, right? So my daughter she's coming out of things, and we got to about third day, nobody said anything to her, and she had a kind of a rough recovery. And at one point I had to look at her and say, when you came in here and when you're going to leave, the world is very different.
Yeah, for sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, but thank you. We got to have her here with us last night, and we're very excited. She's just, you know, of course, captured our hearts. So, and we think her name couldn't be more cool and fitting for our family, right?
Yeah. Where did you come up with that name?
My daughter picked it out. She just she picked it out. She just thought it was a Nova Lee. It's her full. It's Nova Lee, but we thought that was awful fun.
Nice.
That's beautiful. It really is pretty.
It's going to be a name that, you know, like Susan. Six kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nova. Yeah. Pretty cool. So go ahead. What's your newest project?
So we've got rendering of it over here. Robin's grabbing it.
See, if I don't know if the camera will pick it up, we don't always have.
We took a '57 Chevy 4-door sedan.
Oh wow!
Oh look!
And I cut it all up and narrowed it up, chopped it up, turned into a suicide 2-door, like a roadster type theme with a wagon style roof on it.
Yeah,
cool.
That's pretty tough.
That is awesome, man. I was watching the video that you guys had when you were putting the doors on and everything.
Yeah,
I could see it. I was like, this is going to be an awesome ride, boy.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope it turns out really cool. It looks good in my eyes, but I might be partial to it.
It's one of those things that it starts to come together, and I watch him kind of. Well, I don't just watch him; I help too. But it's his vision that we're pulling together, and it's really interesting to see him how he goes about it. I almost imagine that claymation where they're kind of just putting things together like this, and you see him doing that with metal, you know, and it's crazy. And it really is interesting when you get to a point and all of a sudden I realize he's done it. This vision that he's been telling me about, all of a sudden you look and there it is. You can see it.
In the driveway.
Maybe it's a line, you know, pull of a string from one point to another where he's like, see, I want to get this line. But you can see that starting to come together when he's working on it. So, you know, I feel really fortunate that I get to be the one standing next to him, watches, because he's a secret keeper. He doesn't like anybody seeing what he's doing while he's doing it. because as much as he likes to be outside the box, and sometimes he says people's negativity with what he's doing kind of inspires him and fuels that flame. At the same time, you don't always get anybody. You let it get into your head, you might veer off in a different direction.
Yeah.
Right.
So he doesn't like to let people see what he's doing.
Here's where it was a little bit ago. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yeah. Oh, that's sweet.
That's
That
awesome.
was pretty tough.
Well, if it was only 1 year different, Terry'd be barking to buy it. Off by one number.
We're just messing with him just a little bit. So
Yeah.
One number. I'm glad he didn't tear apart 56.
He ruins them. He just ruins Americans' classics. That's what he does.
Let me tell you something. That is beautiful. I was watching the build that he posted a video a while back, and I was watching. I was like, Jesus Christ! Between you, Arco, and like all the other metal fabricators, man. I mean, you guys are just doing it. What frame are you using for that car?
I'm building my own.
Yeah.
So I go about it a little bit different than a lot of guys do, or maybe they go about it the same way. But I like manipulate the body down to what that vision I have in my head first. And once I get that, then I try to figure out how to make everything fit inside of there. I try to figure out where my axles are going to be, where the motor's going to sit, and all that stuff. But the shell is what in my mind is the most important thing. And then just got to make it mechanically safe and sound after that.
Right.
Hey, that's the way to go.
And what I like about his build is he drives his build.
Drives them hard.
Until he drives them right up until he breaks them.
So tell us about your latest break.
So we entered that Hot Wheels thing, and we won a spot at the Hot Wheels competition this year at SEMA. So there'll be like one of 20 cars that we have a shot of having a real Hot Wheels built of the car. And so that's pretty cool. But when they announced that, I kind of went into a panic because I wrecked my car about almost a year ago now.
You didn't wreck the car.
Well, I burnt the motor up about a year ago, and it's just kind of been this art piece sitting in the garage ever since. I broke it down, and I've got 4 melted down pistons. I sheared the ring lands off. So the pistons aren't really melted, but I sheared the ring lands between the rings. So the one is just rolled over and pinched the rings, so it won't return out to seal on the cylinder. So we're gonna get that piece back together soon, I hope.
There may have been some excessive driving that caused that.
Wait, the floor mat got stuck.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid that part of it. There might be law enforcement listening.
Would be a nitrous motor by any chance?
It was. Well, it does have nitrous, but I've never filled the bottle.
Right.
So
nobody ever filled the bottles. I know. No. They just look. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of bottles, I had a Gixxer back in the day, and it had a bottle on it.
Wow.
And I was so scared of this bike that I never filled it because
I don't blame you.
It was stupid. I don't understand why the guy built it like that.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I had it for about a month. I had to get rid of it, man, because it was just way too fast. It had turbo and it had air shifter on it, and then nitrous.
Right.
Yeah, it can get real scary real quick.
Yeah, real quick.
I wouldn't drive with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For some reason, my wife won't let me buy another bike or another sports bike.
Yeah.
Yeah. I talked myself out of getting a sports bike a long time ago. Just too throttle happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Too easy.
Yep, it is.
Yeah.
So what are you guys working on? Anything cool?
Terry, you the man.
What's called? I've been driving my Trailblazer SS with an LSA blower on it. That thing's it's sick. And what I did was I had it all together. I was driving around with it, working the bugs out. And then Aeromotive, they said, "Hey Terry, we got these new pieces that we want you to check out." So out comes the gas tank again, because with saddlebag gas tanks, there's a fuel starvation issue when you're on an incline and when you like maybe a quarter tank or lower. So you start starving for gas. So what Aeromotive did was they created these check valves that go inside the bucket, where I called it the Roach Motel technology. Gas go in, but then with the ball bearings, it's not coming out.
Okay.
And then did was they also offered the siphon. Basically what it is this thing where it works on the vacuum of the fuel going out. So it creates a suction. And you have the hose where you want to put the where the gas, like if you're on an angle, you want to put the hose in the front of the tank, and it will suck. It'll suck your tank dry. On an incline, what it'll do is it'll drop the fuel right into the bucket. So it fixes all the starvation problems. What I was doing tonight before I got here, when y'all guys caught me on the camera, I was chowing down. I was testing it out. I have my Trailblazer; it's all together and everything like that. And I'm just running it with like no fuel in it, and the truck is on an angle like this. Now, before it's on E, it would cut off at that point, but it's still running. And
nice.
I'm like, so.
That's nice.
And I'm shooting a video at the same time, of course, and so that's what I'm building. And after that, I'm getting back on my 67 Chevelle.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that Chevelle when it's done.
That's gonna be a nice one. That's gonna be that I go crazy with,
Big fan of that year.
Yep.
See, 67, 67, 69, 71. I'm missing the 69. I will get it. I will get it.
I'm a 69 because I was born that year, so I'm trying to get everything 69.
Okay, you know what? We haven't asked this question in a long time. All right, you ready for this, Ray?
Yeah, go.
Okay. What is your favorite, Chris, Robin, favorite Tri-5? Please help me out.
Oh, I thought you were going to ask a new question.
Oh, no. We haven't asked that in years.
Favorite Tri-5?
I really like the 57s and a wagon.
So, yeah, I agree. When I was 16 years old, my dad took me for what I thought we were going to stop and get an ice cream cone, and he took me, pulled up to a house on the way into town, and they had a 57 Chevy station wagon, bright red, bit of a beater, but that was my first car. So my dad bought me that, and I was a spoiled little brat, but I'm a daddy's girl. But it was that was my first any type of car, let alone first classic car. So it's always kind of fun to be able to say that my very first car was a 57 Chevy wagon.
I think we lost Terry about 10 minutes ago.
Like y'all knew where I was going with this, and
you could have thrown him a bone. See, I'm a 56.
Yeah.
56?
Yeah.
I got a friend that has a beautiful 56, so.
The wagon is also cool. And plus Chris will probably take the back door out and shrink the thing.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of stock by any means.
No.
Made them this one.
Oh, look at that.
Well, it's just
That's
so
another one I chopped up.
That's wild. Yeah, that's wild.
Pretty slick.
Did you chop the roof?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I did when I chopped that one up, I took 6 inches off the front of the cowl and tapered it back towards the rear of the car. The rockers were gone completely, so it was already a little bit lower. Right. So that gave the body a rake on it. So then I did a reverse chop on it, like a Magnum, like the Chrysler Magnums have.
Okay.
So the rear window is smaller than the front. And it kind of tapers as it goes forward,
Yeah.
It gives you a natural rake.
Yep.
That one. Could you show that picture again?
Show that picture again.
Because that
Just
would
grab our pictures off the wall here.
that is
pretty slick.
That is sick.
So that was built as a competition car for Rat Rod magazine. They had a Rat Rod build off. So you had a budget of $3,000. The car had to drive 3,000 miles, and you had to build the car in 30 days.
Wow.
That's what we came up with.
So if I'm not, that windshield is original, correct? That's the original size.
Yeah, that was original, not original size. We had to cut it down, so there's a seam in the middle.
Oh, interesting.
It's narrowed.
Yeah, we narrowed it, chopped the roof down.
But what about the height of it?
The height, I think I took 4 inches out of the front, and I think I took 8 out of the rear.
That's tough on curved glass, man.
It is.
Wow.
What do you have to do? Like have to cut it and then heat it up and then break it or something like that?
Yeah, I had a friend of mine that does glass, and he came in and what we did is, because it was such a dramatic cut on it and that really curved glass, we ended up just having to take slivers off at a time.
Yeah.
So we'd cut probably about 3/4 of an inch off and kind of in arched shapes to get it trimmed down to finally to shape. And then we kind of sanded the edges to clean it up and got it fitting in the hole.
Wow.
In the hole. Now, where is that? Do you still own it?
No, I sold that car to a friend of mine in Joplin, Missouri. He has a Goodyear dealership down there, and so he's got the car parked out in front of the Goodyear to draw customers in, and he gets it out and drives it every once in a while. It's I use junkyard motor, so it was pretty rough shaped. When he got it, he put a brand new motor and clutch and got it dialed in a little bit better than I had it.
You have 3 cars that moved to Missouri, right?
2 that moved to Missouri. So I built a 67 VW Beetle, and we cut the back half of it off and put a 37 Chevy humpback on it.
Oh, wow.
So I had to shrink that humpback down and put that on the back.
Wow.
And then to stay with the air-cooled theme, I went with a 470 cubic inch Cessna engine, Continental. Yeah.
Wow.
So it had dual magnetos on it and stuff, and mounted that 180 degrees backwards and connected that to a 700 R4 tranny. And that was my second year. So I won with the 57 the first year, that orange one. Right. And that was my next car that I built for them. And that car took second the second year. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Nice.
I got a picture of it for you.
Yeah, she's looking up a picture right now, but
I got a picture of that one.
Yeah, that's not the best one. So it had that TSI 0470 in it.
That is sweet.
So I made my own intake manifold for it and put 2 Edelbrock 600s just outside the edges of the hood. And then for air cleaners on it, we got 2 German helmets and Mike made them into the air cleaners for the 2 carbs.
Right. Fitting.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty slick. Now, see, my wife, man, I'm glad my wife ain't looking at this because she'd be wanting me to get her one of those.
It's pretty neat.
Yeah, she loves rat rods and she loves beetles. So,
there you go.
There you go.
There we go. Now we just got to get an LS powered Beetle.
Whoa.
There you go, Terry.
Now we're talking.
If you fab it up, I will come in there. I will drop the engine, set it up, tweak it, whatever you need. If you set it up.
All right.
Yeah.
You don't know what you just did. You don't know what you just did. We will do it.
I totally stand by my word. I'll come by and I'll pick up Lewis. Lewis, we got some work to do.
Oh,
maybe
Minnesota.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, I got my man Keith in here. He's a pinstriper, so we'll bring him. He can throw some lines on it too.
Yeah.
All right.
Everyone knows something.
Yeah, we'll pick everybody up on the way.
Everyone on the way, exactly. People,
we got lots of room.
The back end of the Trailblazer.
We got lots of room. I'm excited.
I'm telling you, if you do that, I'm telling you, I will come up there and I will set it up. No problem.
All right.
You know, me and Terry's been talking about hitting the road, hitting some places to do some video, and so hey, we might really come out there.
We'd love it.
Yeah, we'd love it. That'd be fun.
Yep.
If we can get Boss Hog torque converters to sponsor our travels, we'll hit the road.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Well, and there's
Nelson. I'm sorry. Nelson even says he got a 6.0. He's got an LS for it. We're in it.
Hey, you can't give my LS away. That one's mine.
Yeah, not anymore.
Hey, Nelson, erase that. That's mine.
Yeah, we can start that one as soon as I get this 57 done.
How long do you think it's going to take to finish the 57?
I'm planning on having it at SEMA this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So we'll have both the Hulk Camino and the new 57. We call it Rough Cut at SEMA. That's the plan.
So we took a old Crowler dirt track fuel injection setup on it, cleaned it up, and bored new holes in it for a new EFI. So we've got a new Holly computer that's going to run it, and pretty stoked to get that thing fired up. It's a 74 big block 454 with a 5-speed Tremec transmission, Corvette independent rear suspension.
We got Comp Cams gave us the or
comp
sponsor
cams,
to the thumper cam,
and basically all the valve train, rockers, and the whole 9 yards. We're good to go.
Nice.
So
Nice.
it'd be fun to hear it finally fire up. We're almost there. We're almost there.
Now, will you have that same spot next to the ramp? Man, that was a perfect location.
We are hoping so. We've been in contact with our SEMA sponsor, and we think so, but I don't know if it's in ink yet. So
we don't have it in ink yet. We've been told, we've been given a verbal, but we just gotta get it inked. Yep.
Yeah.
So,
that was a perfect spot.
Yeah, they had
we were really we didn't. I mean, we knew where it was. We were just blown away with. I mean, with the spot where it was to get that much traffic. Obviously, they told us. They said, "Listen, we got this spot for you. You're gonna really be happy with the kind of traffic that goes through. You've got it. You can see right on the ramp there is great." We were very flattered that the guy that in the airflow booth that was just past
flex light
that was
fans.
Yeah, and I said, "Gosh, this is just a busy spot. We were so lucky." And he told us, he goes, "I've been in this spot for, what do you say, 30 years?
Something like that.
I've been in this spot for 30 years, and it's not the spot, it's the car." And what a compliment that was. He said, he goes, because if everybody would get to the bottom of the ramp and stop, and it was clogging up the bottom of the ramp there. People stopping to look at that car. And he goes, "It's not the spot. This doesn't happen." He goes, "I've been here for 30 years." He goes, "It's the car."
Yeah.
So that really, kind of choked me up a little, because when the reason we brought it was because of the fact the same 57 we're still working on and trying to get to SEMA this year. We didn't get it done, and we had some family stuff going on, and it just didn't happen. So our sponsor, Mickey Thompson, said, "That's all right. You still got that whole Camino?" And we said, "Yeah, we do." And they said, "Well, bring it down." And
I was like totally against it.
And there was some fighting. There was some scratching.
Wow.
I was like, no way. I'm like, I never built that car with something like that in mind. I built that car just for me, just to kind of have fun with. And I don't know. I didn't think it was SEMA worthy. I walk around the floor at SEMA and everything there's so pristine, and I'm like, maybe it belongs outside, maybe in a back corner somewhere next to a dumpster. I don't know. I love my car. Don't get me wrong. I really love the car, but I didn't have SEMA in mind when I built it, and I just really didn't think that it was there. And she had to give me the boot pretty much to get me to bring the car. And I was overwhelmed with how it.
Well, and it was important to us. One of the things is that the sponsors that we do work with really are, like, if he doesn't just, he's out there to build relationships for the long term. So when we are working with sponsors, the products that he wants on his build are products that he's familiar with and he's used and he trusts. So it was pretty easy for us to call up all those sponsors and say, "Listen, I take that back. It was gut-wrenching to say we didn't get the car done. It was gut-wrenching. But when Mickey Thompson gave us the opportunity to bring the whole Camino down, it made it a little bit easier for me to call everybody and say, we didn't get this other car down, but we've always believed in your product. And when it's also on the whole Camino, and we're going to put, extend that sponsorship to this car." So, and we were really fortunate that across the board, the sponsors extended our sponsorship for not only for the whole Camino, but also into this next year. So
nice, right?
Very fortunate, very great community of people to be part of.
No. Yep. And look at now, it's going to be a Hot Wheel.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
we hope.
Like, we got our fingers crossed.
Now, can we go online and vote for it or anything, or how are they picking it?
I'm not sure. I think they pick special judges at SEMA, and they run around and vote for it. I don't know if it'll be open to the public or not there.
I think they did do a public vote at the same time that they selected the whole Camino as winner to go to the SEMA this year's. They also at that time did a fan vote for fan favorite. After it was selected, they gave him a choice of 6 other cars to choose as fan favorite. And so they chose, it's called the Short Bus.
Yep.
The Short Bus. And it's just a really neat build with a really cool story behind it. The guy who built it is in a wheelchair. And it's a what year is it, bus? 56?
Yeah, it's 50s Ford, right?
Oh, 50 Ford, I believe. And it's beautiful. It was at SEMA last year in the back lot, and yeah, it's gray. It had red windows.
Yeah.
But what he does is he takes it to events. He meets people. He uses it to bring people to social events that have disabilities, all types of disabilities. So it's really an inspiring story as well as a really incredible build. Yeah. So we were pretty honored to be in its league, and I believe it's going to SEMA as well. I'm not positive about that, but I think it is that did win that opportunity with a fan vote.
Sweet.
That's pretty exciting.
That's beautiful. That's what this whole hobby, sport, whatever you want to call it, is all about. I mean, making relationships and meeting, well, for me, meeting beautiful people such as you.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's sorry. Really... I keep glancing at that 6-0 sitting down there, and it's kind of eating me up a little bit.
Quit looking at it. I'm going to get it. Nelson, take that off.
All you gotta do is come by New York. Just drop it off in New York on the crate, and I'll take care of the rest, and I'll ship it up to you ready to go.
I called Nelson a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, hey, can we do some trading? I need a LS.
Oh man. Now let me ask you this though. The Hulkamino, I don't know why I call it Hulkamino. We talked about it, and I asked you this back then, but how comfortable is that car to drive?
Oh, it's probably the most comfortable car that I built. When we were in Texas cruising around, she was sleeping in the passenger seat. It's a little bit, because there's no doors on it, you got to step in over the side and slide in there. But once you're in there, it's pretty roomy, and it's comfortable. I mean, it doesn't look like it because it's got metal seats, but they're comfortable.
It rides like a Cadillac, and I say that honestly. I was shocked the first time I rode in, and I was like, I don't feel like, normally you feel like a hot rod, and that's fun too, to have that kind of like jiggly, going around. Yeah. But that's kind of fun. But the whole Camino rides like a Cadillac, and literally as we're leaving the show, we had kind of a long ride back, and I'm falling asleep until he gets under a tunnel and.
Yeah, if I gotta stay awake, she's gotta stay awake, right?
Then he steps on it in the tunnels, and I'm like, oh, what?
Yeah, we did a 4-day trip on Route 66 with it, and just had a blast. That car's just so fun to drive, and the comments you get and the looks you get, and it's fun.
No, you did that trip with your daddy.
Yep.
That's beautiful. And
that'd be awesome, Hot Wheel, man. That's a Hot Wheel car, really.
I'm telling you right now, I'm going to order 10 of them, and you sign each and every one of you guys.
That's what Keith said. He wants an autograph, too.
Autograph one, right?
Yeah, I can do that. Robin can do that.
Yeah. I'm excited. If it is, the first thing I want to do is just put it on the orange track,
Yeah.
To see how it goes on the orange track. Because it might be really cool in real life. And it might look cool, but it has to make the loop.
It's got to be good.
You got to make the loop.
Yeah. Does anybody in the chat room have any questions?
Let's see. Yeah, they had a few.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah, we got 18 people in here. Look at that. What's it called? And Nelson with the LS engine. Yeah, someone had a couple of questions in here that I saw. It's amazing how you, John Nee, Papa Swirl, Sweet Bride. Yeah. So now, what kind of, did you make the frame in that one as well?
Yeah.
That's incredible. And what are you using for a transmission? Because I know you beat the snot out of that car.
Yeah, I've been really fortunate. I get most of my transmissions from Monster Transmission, and they have really held up to a beating. I mean, that thing's got 800 horse, just over 800 horse, and I'll be ripping down the road at 70, and I'll reach up and I'll grab that shifter and yank that thing back in a second and just launch it. And that tranny takes that all the time, that abuse. It's so much fun to drive.
I gotta ask, what rear end you got back there?
So in that one, I got a Strange Dana 60.
Okay. That's cool. That is cool. And how much is that? I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's a TCI front suspension, independent with coilovers, Willwood disc brakes, front and rear. Then that Monster transmission.
That's why it sits so nice. You got a nice rake to it. And
that's why it rides so nice too, is that independent suspension makes a big difference.
And those back wheels are what, 24s?
They are 20-inch rims, 20 by 12s, I think.
Wow.
The car's so small, it makes the tires look bigger, you know?
That's what it is. And how much does it weigh?
We were like 1850.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's light.
600 horse
power. Yeah, 802 horses is what we made at the crank. So probably around 600 at the tires. And yeah, it's a blast. That thing's just
18.
I wish I could build another one just like it.
They got a shell. Oh,
what's that?
It's reading it's not really a question.
You guys make parts for this. That's a compliment. You know, that's a compliment.
Yeah,
Keith came out to with me the year before. Keith was with me last year at SEMA, not this past year, but the year before. He ditched out on me this past year.
All right.
Keith, what's up? Why are you ditching? Come on.
Terry, you met him. He was with me at dinner. My camera guy.
Oh yes. Was he there when we ordered those big plate of nachos?
Man, look. I ordered some nachos and cheese. Right? They came over with like a gat, or what do you call it? A garbage can lid full of nachos. It like took up the whole middle of the table. I'm like, I thought it was a joke. I'm waiting for the cameras to come out. Like, oh, somebody's pranking me.
Looking for Alan Ford.
Man,
big old pop of nachos.
There's no way you can eat all those by yourself.
It was like you, me. Was it Nelson Gill was there?
Yeah.
Who? We must
have missed our invitation to the big nachos. I don't know.
Oh,
this was the year before.
We came looking for you guys. We came looking for you guys, but you guys ripping the road on 66 or something like that. They said.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, we could do the peppercorn again. You know, that's
yeah. Oh, that's where it was at the peppercorn. That's a fun place. We had breakfast there years ago.
I got my
like a couple years back. We were going in there, and Junior Sales was coming out. That was the year he passed away. Yep. So we met him on his way out. Yep.
55.
Wow. Yeah, it's curious. I'm curious. Even once we do want to see are we going to have to pack food? I mean, there's a restaurant. I know they're going to have like the outdoor things, but there might not be opportunities for some of the indoor restaurants. I know some of the casinos they are saying opening this week or today, but I think a lot of them are doing like outdoor seating for fruit for eating. So it should be interesting.
They have a huge parking lot at the Peppercorn. So
yeah.
And then even like the after parties, how do you think those will be, or will they even have them this year?
Well, they'll have them. that's it might be a envelope slide over, but
so did you see that guy that was making COVID-19 shoes? So it's like a size 75 shoe. So it's like 2.5 feet long. Yeah. So if you had a pair on and I had a pair on, and we were standing face to face, we're 5 feet apart.
I heard him talking about it on the radio, but I didn't see him.
Yeah, we'll all have to be wearing them for the after party, just so we can't get too close to each other.
Well, mine are almost that big already.
Yeah, probably.
Mine too.
There's a bar out here somewhere, and what they were doing is you wear like an inner tube around your waist, and it has like a solid wood area where you can put your drinks. So the inner tubes stop you from getting too close to people.
Yeah,
kind of like bumper cars.
Yeah. You get too many drinks in, that's going to be bad.
Well, at least you won't get hurt when you fall.
Right.
So you must be out in Maryland. Are you out in Maryland?
No, New York.
New York. Okay. My there's another bar. There's a bar in Maryland near where my son lives that's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's a thing. It's a thing. It's a thing.
Right.
So what I want to ask, we talked a lot about SEMA. I'm curious, what other shows? Are there any other kind of nationally prominent shows that you guys attend throughout the year, or some of your favorites?
PRI, but I don't know what they're going to do there.
I know they're gonna be there.
I had a pretty big show up in Canada, but who knows? I mean, it's bad.
I was doing the Syracuse Nationals. I don't know if they're going to be. I mean, that's outdoors, but I don't know if they're going to be doing that either.
You got the good guys.
The couple
the
of
Hot Rod
been canceled. Yeah, that I heard of. Yeah,
the Hot Rod Power Tour.
Yeah, our summer nationals here got canceled. Yeah. Or no, we haven't heard that yet. We've been waiting to hear. Back to the 50s here got canceled. That's a 12,000 car show. That's huge. Yeah. And that got canceled. So that's a big dog. That's a big dog show. It really is.
Yeah. It's a really great show. So it's a bit of a heartbreak. There's a lot of people that are upset about it. Some people felt that they didn't give it enough chance, and you always get people that are negative about it. I'm pretty sure the people that put it on every year did everything they could to make it happen. Yeah.
So you got to be safe, even no matter what. You got to be safe.
Well, right. and I mean, I think there's a lot of roadblocks. They said, even if everything was wide open by the time of the show, we haven't been able to come together to plan it. Right. We haven't been. They weren't able to get there. It was a very crucial planning time for them because the show would normally happen the end of June. So,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Somebody said Carlisle on the 17th.
Ooh. Carlisle, June. Is it on?
Carlisle, PA, really? I wonder.
Supposed to be June 17th. We had a couple of good shows here get canceled too, man. I'm stressing,
Robin's been driving me nuts. She just loves car shows, and she's like yanking me out the door. Let's go. Well, I don't know where there is one. We've got a cruise here happen Saturday nights now. That's gotten pretty big, but now I'm kind of bummed that my car's not running. So I don't want to go on my S10.
Yeah.
Colorado.
Right. Going to
Somebody said, yes, Carlisle's open. Brian.
Okay.
Well, that's good.
Good.
So, yeah,
it's good to hear that some of them will be happening.
Yeah.
If you think about it, just think about, like even at the Ignite, think about, you see how many, thousands of people are out there, even just driving along to get to the parking lot. Mm-hmm. It's going to be, I wonder if how,
Right. That's a good question.
Yeah, it's interesting what they might to think about was how different it will be this year if they can make it happen.
Yeah, I like yeah.
And I wonder what percentage of the attendance. It'd be interesting to hear what percentage of the attendance is international, because it's likely that a lot of the international just won't be there. I don't know what flights are going to happen and what will be allowed, but I'd be curious about what portion of the attendance is international, because sure seemed like a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say it's probably, I would say 60%.
Yeah, I'd say upwards,
probably
15 to 20.
Yeah,
it's big, so
it's kind of
Coon Rapids Cruise Night.
Coon Rapids Cruise Night. That's the one we keep missing.
Yeah, we do.
Because somebody keeps burning down Pistons.
Well, look, I told you we could go in my brother's car. He'd take us for a cruise down there.
Okay.
So Chris's excuse is you got to test it out.
Yeah.
My dad used to get so mad at me. He's like, if you just ease off that gas pedal, you'd quit braking that thing. And I'm like, Dad, that's like giving a kid a toy at Christmas and telling him not to play with that thing. Here, we're just going to put that up on the shelf and we're not going to touch it no more. That's not going to happen. I got to play with those toys,
Yeah.
Right.
Question for you, Chris. They want to know what is going to be your next build.
Well, that 57 Chevy, and then I've got a customer build to do after that, and then I've got a 57 International Harvester Metromite van.
Wow.
So it looks like a 50s toaster, and it's the S120, so it's a 120-inch wheelbase, and I got some really crazy ideas to do to that to turn it into my toy hauler.
Oh,
so
nice.
I'm kind of chomping at the bit to get going on that one as well.
You want to share it?
Yeah, we can share it.
All right, he's got a couple.
So I got three renderings of it, and I know which one I'm doing, but I won't tell you guys which one.
Oh, wow.
Well, hold on a sec. Wait a second. Keep that there, Robin. Hold on.
Okay.
That bottom one is it.
Yeah.
That's
That's my vote.
Oh,
Yeah.
There's two.
Wait a minute.
Now, what's
the bottom one.
Yeah, the bottom.
Oh, what's the difference between the besides the color?
Let's see if we can get it to.
One's got a wing, one doesn't have a wing. One's
Okay.
got a separate bed on it, the other one doesn't. Well, it just shut off. That's all you get, I guess.
That's all I get.
I like the.
I like that bottom one. Yeah, with the wing.
Yeah.
That's true.
We have
I gotta go with the
living
bottom
quarters.
That very last one right there.
Yeah. We have living quarters in
There
it.
you go.
That's what this area is, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking more like a conversion van, like a sofa in the back that kind of lays out into a bed, and because we're always cruising everywhere we go is a couple of days.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I haven't seen a Metro van done that way.
Right, I haven't seen one
some-
done that way. There's a lot of Metro vans being done right now. It seems kind of like the in thing to do, but not any quite like that with a wide body kit on them and
Yeah. That's pretty tough.
it should be pretty sweet when I get rolling on it.
Hey, I got a question for you on your 57. That's a 57
Sure.
you're building, right?
Yep.
You said you put suicide doors on it?
Yep.
Now, did you make your own hinges or did you buy them?
No, what I did is because I started with a 4-door sedan, I took the rear doors, reversed them from right to left, and used those hinge pillars. So it's the stock hinge pillars, stock rear door hinge pillars.
Right. Okay. Because I want to do my Cadillac. I want to put suicide on it, and there's some guys in California making a kit, and it's pretty tough. It's pretty strong kit, but I didn't know if you had bought yours or if you made it.
I'm too cheap to buy stuff. I
Yeah.
gotta make it.
Yeah, me too. I'm probably gonna make them.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen a lot of guys do that. They'll take that front part of the door shell, cut it off, cut the part of the cowl off, flip that around to the other side of the car and use it on the back of the door. That way you got your stock hinges in there. It's a lot of work though. It's not an overnight project.
Yeah. No duct tape, huh?
Yeah. Maybe a zip tie, but no duct tape.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got.
He's doing he's also telling what you're doing to the dash.
So on the dash on that 57, by not using that 57 front, you lose a lot of iconic pieces. You're losing the hood rockets off the hood, and I think those are really iconic. So underneath the car, underneath the rear bumper, we're going to flip that hood upside down and backwards and tuck it up as our belly pan underneath of there. So the hood rockets will still be on the hood, but just upside down and backward.
Oh, okay.
And then we took the grill bar off the grill. We completely smoothed out the dash. When we narrowed that car, I think I narrowed it 11 inches out of the dash. So I cut the instrument cluster completely out and smoothed it all out and kind of made it wrap around the inside now. And we're taking that grill bar, narrowing that down, mounting that in the dash, and then where the turn signals were, that's our new chrome AC vents.
Oh, cool.
And then we got a pop-up LCD, 7-inch LCD that swings up out of the center console, and that'll have our gauges, our virtual power window switches, fuel shutoffs, and all that stuff.
That's pretty sweet.
That's gonna be sweet.
Yeah, it should be. It should be another fun car to drive too, I hope.
Yeah.
And of course, 12-inch wide rims, right?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Like I said,
that
that's
clutch
sweet,
would be
man.
fun.
I was just like, look at this. What is this? And I sat there and I kept coming back. Every time I went past it, I was looking at it. I was like,
I did the same thing.
yeah. I was like, he curved the fenders. Something, new.
Yeah,
That's what gets a lot of people is that curved front fender. A lot of people think it's some other kind of car, like a Corvette or a. But really, all I did is I cut that thing into slices, 2-inch wide or 1.5-inch wide slivers, probably about 10 of them, and then I taped a 2x4 to the tires, duct taped the 2x4 onto the tires, and then reshaped that fender up over that tire, and then just started welding and trimming my seams.
Wow.
So is that the car that you're gonna have like forever? You're gonna pass off or whatever? Is that the car?
I doubt it. I'm not well off financially enough to keep it. So in order to do my next build, I have to sell it in order to do the next build. But
I hear you, man. That's been my whole life. I got to sell something to get something new.
Right. That's it.
It'll morph into that Metro, and they don't have nothing to haul on it.
Right. I'll have to call all the old buyers and see if I can borrow it to tow them around.
Yeah.
So Chris, when people ask you to build a car for them, do they have a vision, or is it just like, they just like go off?
It's tough sometimes, but because they want you to have an artistic vision in it, but they have their criteria that they need, and sometimes the two are tough. They don't. Yeah. Sometimes they don't jive, and some projects I have to turn down because of that. And it's probably a majority of them that I do. It's unfortunate, but you have to find somebody that I mean, when I build a car, I'm really fluid. Everything moves all the time. Nothing is set in stone for me. It's always constantly changing. As I build it, my eyes are telling me what needs to be next and how this needs to be. And if they didn't want the chop like that, but it doesn't look right with it, we have to, be able to move on and make something that we're both happy with. And sometimes it can be difficult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine.
Man, that van's gonna be pretty sweet, man. I can't wait to see that rolling.
Yeah, me too.
That might take a few years.
I'm want to get rolling on it big time.
Yeah, we also have the Dodge too. That we have a few, like we call them back burner projects. We got 1, 2.
So I've got a car that I call half and half. It's half 31 Essex and half 30 Chevrolet. So one's front, one's back, and I've got it on a chassis that I like already. I did suicide doors on that, so it's the Chevy doors because they're longer, and then I've got a 70s Vista Cruiser roof that I trimmed down, and I'm putting that Vista Cruiser roof on it.
Oh,
but
the glass.
But I'm doing that Magnum chop on it, so the back windows will be smaller at the back, and they'll get bigger as it goes towards the front with that Vista Cruiser roof. Should be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then we took a 59 Dodge Corvette and cut that down real similar to the El Camino, and we're doing like a what am I trying to say? Like a T-bird style roof on it. So it'll have the porthole right behind you, and that'll all be handmade out of fiberglass, I think, just to keep it light enough so you can take it on and off. We call that one Alice. It's kind of like a blue, like Alice's skirt, like Alice in Wonderland's skirt.
I call it Alice.
I said, Jesus, you got to make it a little bit more manly. It can't just be Alice. So let's call it Alice in Chains or something, You can't call it just Alice. But that's what she likes.
Your type of build is it's like unique because
Alice Cooper.
you can like be free with it, like you're saying. You cut it and you say, oh well, maybe I'll cut this and add this. It's just that's a nice flavor to work with.
It's interesting because when he has a vision and he doesn't draw. He doesn't draw, but he'll ask people to do a rendering for him. But when he's described to me or sketched out or had somebody put a rendering together of what he wants, I want to be clear that like it's not like he just throws his plan out his window. He makes his plan and he plans his work and he works his plan. But at the same time, it's almost like the cars speak to him as they go, and he kind of sees what refinements of that need to be. But generally, when he's got a vision in his mind, he makes it happen. He doesn't get too veering off. He'll hold true to that vision and refine it as he goes. But he is pretty fluid and flexible with, I thought this was going to work like that, and it's just not, because when I do this, it's not going to make this happen, sort of thing. But usually that's in order to stay true to that vision more than anything. It's more about that end picture in his mind, to me, when he's working on it.
Right. That has to be hard to how do you say it? To let your mind go there, because when you're building something, it's usually standard. Okay, I need to build this. But in your case, you're pushing the envelope past where it should be. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I'm not comparing myself to these guys at all. But like when Ed Roth and stuff, they started building cars. Daryl Starberg, that's kind of, I feel like they were in that same mindset. They just kind of let their mind go, and I kind of let the freak come out. You know, we kind of let the freak try, and it works for me so far. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to turn out a dud, but you never know till you try it.
Well, and I feel like with him, I wouldn't say it's a hard mindset. I think what's hard is I have very often had to rein him in, which is a little heartbreaking for me, because the last thing you want to do with somebody that's that creative and comes up with the great ideas that I believe Chris comes up with is rein that in, right? But from time to time, money, budget, time, effort, that's not, those things can be kind of difficult. But I mean, it's almost like he has to get these ideas out of his head, or that his head will explode. He's constantly, and it's not just cars. I mean, he's got ideas for everything. He's out there folding my cereal boxes in different ways.
We took this little red wagon and we lowered the rear axle down, and I took this the extended forks off this bike that I had and cut the neck right off the bike, welded that on the front of the wagon. So I had this raked up little red wagon. That was pretty sweet. Would cruise around the neighborhood. No, that's not it. Okay. No, and then I built a truck and a little wagon for my son. I don't know if you guys can see that.
That is cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just always messing around with something. If I had more time and money, I'd probably start customizing the lawnmower too.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm an artist, so I'll look at everything a little different, and I'm always thinking, what can I do to that?
Yeah.
Always has to catch me. He's like, slow down. You can't do that.
Yeah. So that's like Chris. He responded to one of the posts that I did. I guess is like every car builders are like this. Looking at the car like next project with the next point, what you want to do to it, and car builders, we spend hours just responded to that, and I was like, dude, I'm not on your level, but I can imagine, because if I'm doing this, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, we have days, and in fact, in that video, you can see you talked about that video where we showed kind of the first phases of putting that rough cut together. I even included in that video a couple clips of that, and that's a huge part of where this happens, is in that processing. I mean, sometimes, honestly, we're sometimes in that processing and figuring things out. When I'm just off in the corner putting together videos and contacting
sometimes sponsors. She's like, aren't we going to do something today? And I'm like, I am doing something. I mean, it don't look like it, but I'm doing something.
Yeah. See, and now technology's really messed us up, because now you can go on YouTube and get ideas.
Oh yeah.
I'll go on YouTube and I'll look at something, and like a couple days later, I'm like, oh, I need to go back and look at that video. Well, when I go back, I can't find it because I haven't watched 50 videos in between.
Yeah,
right.
It's crazy. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it's I really like the internet. I think it's brought the car world a lot closer together. I think we have friends all over the world now that we talk to all the time, and I think it's helped a lot. I think.
Oh yeah.
We have a guy in France we talk to a lot, who's building rat rod Lamborghinis and Porsches and just having a blast over there. We've got a friend in South Africa that brought a build over to SEMA 2 years ago, and I think it's brought the car community worldwide together.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No doubt.
Yeah, that's how we met Terry and Ray. Everybody in the chat room. You know what I mean? It's really cool that you can meet people on here and become friends, and then when you actually see them in person, it's like, you're good. You know what I mean? We've been friends for 3 years.
Yeah. Right.
That's why I did that video, SEMA, more than just a car show. You guys were in it.
Yeah. We were in it.
You guys were in it.
Terry has way too much fun at SEMA.
Yeah.
I'll be killing it, man. I'll be having too much fun. It's really cool.
Yeah, it really is.
So there's a question on here that says Lewis has an interesting point with your original style? Do you get any blowback from the purists? And oh yeah, the Hulkamino is even that Nomad that I showed the first time, that first orange 57 that I did.
Still,
people are, oh my God, you cut up a Nomad. No, I didn't. It was a rotted out Minnesota car. When we picked it up out of the frozen field, the floor and gas tank and everything stayed. I mean, the body gave up. Part of the frame stayed.
You're telling people, yes, it was a mint car, and I cut it.
Yeah.
And walk away.
The Hulkamino that's either a love or hate car. It seems like people either really love it, and I'd probably say like maybe I'm off a little bit, but maybe 70% of the people love it, and then there's 30% that just despise it. They're like, the lines don't flow, it's just horrible, nothing about it, you should have left it stock, but those even the best builders out there get that stuff. I talked to Dave Indig for a little bit, and he's like, I wish I didn't have all those critics in my head. I wish I could kind of go off on my own and build exactly what I wanted to build the way I wanted to build it. But it's a love or hate relationship, I think.
I always quote him. He always says, "Somebody's not." What do you say? If some people don't hate it, it's not any fun.
Right.
I mean, really, if it's not unlikable to some, it really isn't different. Then it really isn't. It's you have to, it's not black or white. You got to push those limits. And so he's not pushing limits if there's not some pushback.
Right. And there's not one part of life that you can make everybody happy. I mean, you can have an opinion about something and it offends some people love it, but the thing is, you got to be comfortable with it when you go to bed at night, as long as you're happy, that's all that matters.
Totally. That's what I was telling Mark Green and Mike Liner. I was like, it's amazing how I'm a firm believer is that every voice should be heard, but some don't need to be heard. And, like I was telling, like I used the example of like a kitten. You can get a kitten and save a kitten and give it to its mother, and they walk off to the sunset. Someone will find something wrong with that. Someone will find something wrong. Why didn't you? What? You're not a dog lover? What? Someone will be upset about.
Right,
100%.
I think that's part of what defines the car world. I mean, as car guys, I can't put down somebody else's car.
Whoa.
It might not be my flavor of car, but I can't put it down. They turned every nut and bolt just like I turned every nut and bolt. They went through the blood, sweat, and the mind numbing, trying to find the parts just like I did. Every car, whether it's a tuner or whatever it is, you got to love them. They all went through the same amount of work. And I think it's the borderline car people that maybe are leaving those, super negative comments, or the computer, kind of guy, just computer, just
keyboard warrior,
right? Keyboard warrior, just kind of running through. Gotta say something,
Yep.
Yeah, well, I have the East Coast match for that Nomad sitting in my driveway. I've been trying to decide what to do with it for a while now. And you're right. Some people, you hear such opposed thoughts from people. Oh, you got to do this. How can you even think about that? You got to do this. And you're like, no, you know what? Come check me in a while. I'm just going to do what I want.
Right. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, you're going to be driving it. Think about 10 years ago before they had before they started putting the modern stuff in the cars.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't have a matching number car, you were garbage. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now look, these resto mods are making more money than any of those cars ever made.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
that's because they're so drivable.
Yeah, people want to drive them. People want to drive these cars, and you can't take nothing wrong from. Let's take a '69 Z28. I went to a car show and I still remember. I wanted to clock the guy so bad, but I was like, can't do that. I roll in. Now there was a car show in Pearl River, and now I have a '69 Camaro that's all no paint on it. It's in primer. I call it the Stress Cherry color, and it's got an LS2 with a 6-speed. Beautiful car. Now I pull up next and looking for a spot, and I see one next to a RSS 69 Camaro. I said, let me park there. He had his hood open, bunch of people over there looking at it. So I roll in right next to him. I'm like, hey, Camaro brothers, whatever, such and such. I get out and I pop my hood open. And you see this LS in there, right? And you see people move from him to me. And I didn't mean to do that, but that's what you do at a car show. He comes over talking about, where's the original engine? I was like, well, I bought it without an engine. He goes, well, to me, the car doesn't mean anything if it's not the original engine. I said, well, it was a six cylinder. Well, I would have put the 6-cylinder back in there. And he was just down-rating my car to the point where I was just like, hit a rock. It doesn't matter what you think at that point.
That's right.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, like, I was like, if you want to, like, contribute some money into my next build, and maybe I'll consider building it the way you want.
Yeah. But, no, you can't even do it that way. You just got to build. You got to build what you want. Your name's on the title. You're the one that's got to drive it and be seen. And be
that's exactly what I told him. I said to him, like, my car will beat your car in any way, shape, form, and do it getting better gas mileage. And I said, there's nothing wrong with purists, but like I said, what was I said it was so beautiful. It was originality equals impracticality in this day and age. And he took off, he got in his car, you could hear him pumping the gas, and I was just like, sweet nectar.
Right.
These purists, some of these guys are just they're out of control, man. And
yeah, it is. I mean, I agree with you. I think and in fact, some of the purists, I actually love it. I think it is neat to, as it was born. I think that is really cool too, but we don't gotta be angry about it if it's not. That's right. People do it. It seems that a lot of times they do get kind of angry. So
no, they take it a little too far. I mean, even with my Chevelle, people was like, oh, you should have kept the big block, and I said it was a 307. And what as I said, and if I had it and it came with a big block, it'd be having an LS with it. I'm not that big block guy. I don't care. You get the power, and people just like, they just so linear where they just like, hey, it's got to be this, it's got to be this. Well, open your mind, man.
Yeah, that's just it. Like I said, car people, are car people, and it's just like ice cream. Everybody's got a different flavor, But I like ice cream.
Listen, you know what really gets me is when you hear guys arguing about Chevy and Ford or Dodge. I'm like, listen, if you guys were real car guys, you would like them all. I like everything. Anything you put gas in, I like it.
I like them all, but I gotta rib my friends that have a Ford or a Dodge, or I gotta rib them a little. I can't let it slide.
We're building now. We got this one.
Yeah.
There's some people, man, that will not even touch a different car.
Very true.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and that's not me. I'll kind of go all over, but I dish out the garbage, and I get a little back when I build something, that's not a GM, but I love it. It's fun.
Yeah. See, I'll tell you guys a little secret. People don't know, in my backyard, I got a Lincoln Mark 8.
Do you?
Oh, no. It's going to be a 6-speed LS in it. Don't worry about it.
You're going to make it a Chevy.
Yep. Nothing wrong with that.
No, you got to love all kinds of cars. I mean, if people, like pledge allegiance just to a make, I mean, you can't look at a 69 Mustang, even if you're a Chevy guy, and say that's not a beautiful car.
Right.
You can't. I mean, a Cuda, you can't say that's not a beautiful car. You may not like, a Grand Fury, but Plymouth, they made a lot of good looking cars, and a car guy's a car guy,
Yep, for sure.
Yep.
I'm like, I got to rip my buddies who are Ford guys,
Him too.
I see some funny posts on Facebook. People are really clever with some of the, like the Mustangs. They really get on them, man, about them, getting sideways.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard one the other day on the radio that I won't get into the make of it, but it was your new truck comes with a dog. And why? Well, so you never walk it alone.
Yep. There's some good ones out there.
Yeah, for sure. it was fun because my dad was a Ford guy. So me being the rebel, no matter what, I couldn't go Ford. I had to pick something else. And my cousin was kind of into Chevys, so that was the first car that I bought. And I guess that's why that's the one I'm most partial to. But I love them all.
Yeah, I love them all. I wonder because like my first car that I was looking for, you know, my first car was my mother's Camaro. She had a Camaro. But after I was looking, I was like, you know what? I like the Mustang, but you know, and I saw a guy back. I don't know if you guys remember. I know. Ray remembers the one ad press.
Oh yeah.
This is before the internet. You get your car in this little one ad press. It was the tri-state area around here, and before I knew, I thought the '69 Mustang, the fastback, I thought it was a hatchback. I didn't know it was a trunk.
Wow.
So here I am thinking, I'm sitting with this guy and I'm saying, oh, I kind of want a '69 Mustang, but I don't want the trunk. I'm thinking it's a coupe. And he goes, no. I said, no, I want the hatchback one. He goes, I think you want the one that I got. And I didn't go to see it. I was like, no, thank you very much. No, thank you, whatever. 79, Z28. But I wonder if he had a picture and I saw the car, if I would have got that car, because I did not know. I thought the fastback was a hatch, not a trunk. Or a trunk.
Kind of does look like a hatchback. I can't blame you. It kind of looks like a hatchback.
It does look like a hatch. You know?
It looks like a hatchback.
Thank you very much.
A hell of a lot more practical too.
Probably.
Right.
Because I'm looking at it like this. I'm looking at the new Mustangs that is probably like 90. They had the notchback, which has the trunk, and I'm thinking that's the regular, the coupe or the grande, and the hatchback, which was the so I'm thinking back then this is probably what they were thinking.
Right.
Yeah. But I was
what was the Mustang? Was it a Mach 3 or 4? What was it? Mach 1?
Before, yeah, Mach 1.
Yeah, it was Mach 1. One of my friends had one in junior high. His dad bought it for him, and they restored it. So when he got to high school, it was ready.
Wow.
But man, I remember that car sitting, man. It was nice.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm jealous of my friends that had parents like that getting them a car. Yeah. Like, no, my buddy that was on, his parents got him a car, like a '69 Camaro at 14. I used to have to take the bus past his house, you know, to get on the bus with this guy. They had 4 Camaros. They had the father had a '69 Camaro. That was their car. The mother had one. The older brother Raymond had one. And next thing I know, I see a green one in the yard. I was like, I was like, Nelson, what's going on? He goes, yo, my parents got me a '69 Camaro. I was like, you know, and he still got that car to this day.
Nice.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Still got that car. It looks like it's tubbed and it's a beautiful car. We gotta get him back.
I've always had to sell everything to get my next joint.
Yeah, that's how I'm at.
And I wish I could have had my first car back.
Me too.
Nah, not me. I don't know. I had a '78 Monte Carlo was my first car.
That's a nice car.
That's a hot car right now.
It was kind of a rare car because it was a 305 with a 4-speed. Came factory that way.
Cool.
So V8 car with a 4-speed. It was a lot of fun, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It didn't drive all that great. It was okay.
It was a '78. It had the square lights, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Square lights up front.
The lowrider guys want that car right now.
Lucky I had a '79. That was the year they changed them, and it was ugly. No, the '79 they changed. It had like a rounded fender design. It was a whole different. They changed the body.
The '79 is what Denzel Washington drove in Training Day.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a hot car, man.
Yeah,
I'm watching on the chat as people are putting on there. Everybody putting on there what their first car was.
Everyone, put your first car.
First car. Let's see them.
Mine was a '73 Cutlass.
75 Camaro. 75. Let's see it. Who's got
57 Chevy.
Well,
you won.
I'll tell you, one of the first cars that I've had that I bought in 1975 that's finally in the body shop 45 years later, getting a paint job right now today.
Is it really?
Yeah, it only took 45 years.
What kind of car?
65 GTO.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
nice.
see, we have a 72 Buick Skylark, a 73 Vega.
Nice.
61
Vega,
old school.
49.
Oh,
49 Ford convertible, a 61 F185 Olds.
Cool. Yeah.
68 Rambler.
72 Buick Skylark. That's a cool car.
Yeah.
that's a really cool car.
See, I'll take any of those.
$75 for a 68 Rambler.
I wish.
Where's the 83 Cadillac Baritz? Where's that?
I had an 81.
With the
my
metal.
daddy had a 58 Cadillac Baritz.
Wow.
My wife had one.
Yeah, that was a cool car. That was a really cool car.
Their car. Yeah.
He had that one. I kept playing in it and whatever. That's what kind of preempted getting my own 57 Chevy. So
Yeah, my wife had a Britz. We went to trade it in one time and it caught on fire.
Before the
like,
trade or on the way, or
we were gonna trade it in and get a new car. And it was on fire. I looked back. She's in there. I'm like, babe, the car's on fire.
Get out quick. Save yourself.
that's pretty good.
The good old days.
yeah.
The car, Paul, he has 64 Chevelle, 2-door wagon. Ooh,
I'm not
that would be a nice car to tweak out right now.
Oh yeah.
64 wagon, 2-door.
Any advice? Oh,
So we've got
Yeah.
a friend on here now that's from Paul Lyons from, where's he from? Maine?
he's from Maryland.
Maryland. And he's just asking for any advice. He's in a build off competition for SEMA. Well, it's not for SEMA, it's for Radical Rod build offs.
Yes.
And he was just asking for advice. And all I can say is just keep at it. Try not to get too distracted. And you're always working if you still got a tool in your hand. So just keep those wrenches, keep your ratchets, keep something in your hand, and you're always moving.
Yep, that's true. What kind of car are you building? What was his name?
Paul Lyons.
Paul Lyons.
What is it again?
I believe it's a 27. He's setting it up like a.
What is it, Paul? But it's a rat rod style that he's going with, but it's
Right. So it's an open driver in the front, and then it would be enclosed passengers. In the back side of it, so it's
hard to
four-door.
explain.
It is hard to
A
explain.
lot of different pieces.
Yeah.
Very complicated.
Hey, that's the rat rod life.
It is for sure.
79 Rabbit.
The Rabbit. So I had my second car was a Jetta, a lot like the Rabbit.
Yeah. Hey, did you guys meet Steve Darnell from Vegas Rat Rods?
Yep.
I've known him for about I think I met him in 2013.
Yeah, I met him his first season of his show.
Did you go take a tour of his shop?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah. He had a different shop before he had that one too. That was out south of Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm laughing because it's a funny story. My son and I went down there with the first year that his show came out, and it was probably like the second show. And it was the first show that was premiering on TV, and we went down there to watch. They had like a premiere party. And after that, the next morning, we jumped in a cab from Vegas and went all the way out there. And it was like a $50 cab ride to where his shop was. And me and my son got out there, and we were supposed to leave that early, around noon for our flight. So I just thought we'd hang out at the shop for a little bit, catch a ride back to the airport, and jump on the plane. So while we're hanging out, they decided that they weren't going to hang out anymore, that they were going to go get lunch. And I'm like, so he was asking me what we were going to do. And I'm like, well, I'll just call a cab and we'll get to the airport. He goes, well, we're halfway there, or where they were going to lunch was halfway there. I'll just give you a ride. I'm like, oh, well, that's kind of cool. And so that's how I got to know Steve. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, really good dude.
Yeah.
Well, his shop is now close to the venue now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Really close. Yeah. Yeah, Industrial Avenue, he's just down the street from Count's Customs.
Yeah, right around the corner.
They're walking distance from the Circus.
Yep, right behind Circus.
Yeah, I met him. He was a really cool guy. It was like, Terry, I would actually, it was when I was on my way to the hotel room from the Ignite, because I was going to go to the Ignite, and he came in with this behemoth of a machine. I'm just like, look at this thing. You know, and like 2 other guys in the background said, Terry, I would offer you a ride, but I was like, he is a really nice guy. He's really nice guy.
Yeah. Did you see that 57 that he's driving now?
How about that car?
What's he call that one?
No,
it's not Quit Your Bitching.
What's he call that?
It's something or what was the name of that car, babe? I can't think of the name of it. Man, that car is nice.
It's a really nice car.
He's a 55, right?
Is it a 55?
I thought he had a 55. I could be wrong.
It's green in color, right? If I remember right.
No, this one is black and gray. Has
okay, so that is the 57. That's the Resto mod.
Yeah,
because that's all. I forget what's in that for a motor. Yeah.
Oh no, not Corvette. It's the Cadillac V. Everything under is Cadillac V. It has the motor, the drivetrain. Man, this car is. You gotta go on YouTube and check it out. It's pretty tough.
And there's paint on it.
Or something?
Yeah, he has paint on it, but it's like it's hard to explain. It's like they let it run and then they cleared it.
Yeah,
it's pretty tough, man. You gotta check it out.
Yeah, like a swamp looking theme to it, kind of. The paint job does.
Yeah,
or a nuclear reactor kind of.
Yeah. He did a video. Listen, he did a video and a Corvette pulls up next to him, and he puts a foot in him, man. Woo!
Yeah, he likes this stuff fast too. He don't like slow cars.
No. Yeah, you gotta check out the video. It's pretty good.
Louis, this year we're going to his party. We're going to his party this year.
Yeah. I'm telling you, me and Keith went. Keith went with me 2 years ago.
Yeah, man. We're supposed
to
go.
I'm trying to tell you, come on.
I want to go to the dope party. Yeah,
listen, I called Terry. Hey, we're going to the party. He's like, oh man, I gotta edit videos. Man, do that when you get home. We're out here.
Right.
We're here.
I didn't know you were going to. You didn't tell me that. I think you got a secret for a reason. I don't know.
Listen, when I say let's roll,
they always hold a nice party at the shop.
Yeah. Yeah, we're supposed to get him on the show soon, but he's hard to catch up with.
Yeah.
So, guys, listen. I have off because brother has to get up early in the morning. So, I really appreciate you guys coming on. We love having you here, and we love hanging out with you at SEMA.
Our pleasure.
And, thanks for having us.
I'm sure. Yeah. If we do it, if we do have SEMA this year, we'll hang out again.
For sure.
And I usually get off.
Get the nacho sweat.
Oh yeah, you got to get the nachos.
It's nacho sweat.
Well, there's a big possibility I'll have 2 cars there. I mean, they need a driver for the second car. You never know.
Hey. I know how to turn a key. You know what? You need to take that Volkswagen out for my wife.
Yeah. That was a pretty sweet car. We did air ride in it, and it was a fun build.
It was pretty neat. It was really it was kind of a feast for the eyes. There's a lot of details in that one.
Yeah, it never photographed really well, but in person, people really loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I have a request. You got 2 cars, and I guess Robin's driving one, and you're driving one. Do it, right?
Yeah.
Somebody stop one, please.
Yeah. Save me a spot.
Save me a spot.
Hey, but so now that you've been on the show, you're now family. So you can come on anytime you want, anytime you have a new project, or if you just want to come hang out with us, because you see everybody in the chat room. These are our usuals. Just come hang out and
All right, we'll be here
anytime. But listen, you can stay on. The after party is getting ready to start. Ray and the fellas keep on going for another Ray? Half hour?
Well, we go till 11 till I kick us off. Finally, buzzer, and then it's like poof, done.
Yep, somebody hits the switch. But hey, I appreciate you guys coming on, and if you ever need anything, let me know. You know what I mean?
All right.
Sounds good. Thanks for inviting us. We really do appreciate it. It's been our pleasure.
All right, thank you. All right, I'll see you guys next week.
Bye, Louis.
Yep.
I'm also going to head off because I got to put a little kid to bed. All right.
All right.
All right. Have a good one.
Much love to you guys. Everyone in the chat room, what's up? Yo, have a good night, peaceful sleep, and I will talk to you guys soon. Ray, take it.
All right, I got it.
Take care.
Oh, very good.
Hi, Terry.
And there he goes.
There he goes. So you guys do this every Thursday night?
Every Thursday night, yeah. I'm doing it for about 4 years now,
Oh, wow.
We were on Wednesdays for a while in the beginning, and then we switched over. I don't remember why, and we switched different platforms. We've been on a couple different platforms. Some have been better than others, and nothing's really perfect, but you make it work. You make it work.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
So I go try to wrap my head around project cars like the stuff that you're building. You look at it and say, you think it's an easy thing to do, and you realize that it's really not. And it's
no.
Yeah.
Oh, my mom's saying good night, so we gotta say good night to your mom.
Good night, Mom. There's a little bit of a panic that sets in when you get that car completely all cut apart, disassembled, and all your door skins and quarter skins and all that stuff's laying flat on the floor. And you're kind of like, oh my God, am I ever going to get this thing back together again? You get a little bit of panic, and but you just work at it. You just keep plugging away, and it happens.
Right. So now I see my two buddies here, Brian with the very au natural hairdo. With a nice
That's okay. I got some COVID hair too.
John's got the Brooklyn haircut.
Yeah. It's Florida, man. Everything's open.
Nice.
That's nice.
Yeah, they just opened
I go Monday.
They're just opening us now for barbershops, hairstylists, stuff like that, stores and whatnot.
Brian's looking like Grizzly Adams.
Yeah.
It's tough, man. Yeah.
I went last week. I went in last week. I told the guy, I said, cut it off.
Yeah.
Make it short. I need my summer crew cut. It's hot here in Florida.
Right.
Since I'm kind of new, what's that car I see behind you, John?
67 Camaro.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's
big block.
Very big. 632 inches.
Sweet.
Yeah. It's pro touring, but it's a little more. So it's kind of crazy. It's got a lot of one-off stuff on it. It'll be pretty cool. Trying to get it done so I can start working on my real project car.
Which is?
Restoring my Trans Am that I sold in 1992 and got it back. Yeah. Did a little searching and found it. My wife was like, you should build a car. And I'm like, wow, cool.
Yeah, you don't hear that very often. Well, I'm lucky enough, but
I built cars for almost 30 years for a living. And then I sold the business and got into custom aquariums and moved here to Florida. We did that television show on Animal Planet, Tanked.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, that's you? Yeah, I watched that.
Yeah, well, I'm not a star on it, but I had a recurring role like 11 times, yeah. So, just a whole bunch of car people they all moved to Florida. So I've been hanging around with my wife, calls us all dirt pigs. And she was like, you should build something. Whatever happened with your Trans Am? And I'm like, I don't know. So we started doing some internet searching and found it in Pennsylvania. But it's a pretty special car. It's won a lot of races. It was totally street legal, 8-second car.
Well, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I sold it in 1992, and it was Hot Rod magazine said it was one of the 10 fastest street legal cars in the country.
Yeah, 92. That's super fast.
That is really fast.
Oh yeah, 850.
Fast today.
167 miles an hour, and it's 30. It's like 3,300 pounds. Steel doors, steel roof, and quarters. Pretty crazy stuff. So yeah, I have it, but it's a. You might as well call it a rat rod. Some of the stuff that's going on inside it is just not typical drag race kind of stuff. It's been messed with. But I'm cutting out all the cancer and going to build a whole new chassis and put it back together.
Fun.
So it should be pretty cool. But I got this project I'm working on first. Got to get it done. And it's very close. My to-do list is down to like 8 things.
Good.
One of them is fully wiring the whole car. So
that's a big one.
Well, yeah, yes and no. I don't think it'll be that bad. I'm gonna get one of those American Auto Wire complete harnesses.
Yay!
It's got everything. It's plugged into the firewall, and you got your front. The car is stock body, so the cabling for the front they have it. The cabling in the middle is the same, and all the way out back by the taillights. So there's no change.
Wiring. That phase for me is the longest because it feels like you're there. You're almost there. You got everything to do, and then you get to the wiring, and everything just kind of slows down and details. It always feels like you're right there. It's like, can we just get the wiring done so we can get on with it? Get on with it. Getting past that wiring to me is always a big one.
There's a lot of connections, but it's not custom. So it's one of those deals. If you buy something from those guys, they're going to give you both ends.
Right.
And when you buy from them, they're going to give you these cars, the old cars, they had the dimmer switch for the high beams on the floor. They give you a new switch. And you just plug it in. The harness is there. Same thing. They give you a brand new ignition switch. They give you a brand new headlight switch. So you're not chasing parts, and everything is made to fit.
Yeah, that's nice.
It'll be real easy. The firewall connector is like the regular GM firewall connector. So and everything's there. All your sockets for your turn signals and headlights and things. So it should be pretty straightforward. And then I just need a couple of circuits to run some other stuff. I have to power it's got that Holley fuel injection. So I got to power up the brain for that. I got to power up the actual fuel injection unit. And then I got to run a couple of circuits. I need some stuff that's a little different on this setup than when it has a carburetor. So
electric fuel pumps,
well, there's a line right on that powers the fuel pump. As soon as you turn the key on.
Oh, nice.
And then, but I need to come up with some relay systems to do a couple of different things. I want to cut off the air conditioning compressor at wide open throttle, so the fuel injection, the TPS switch can trigger that, and it's got a turbo 400 in it. And you need to send a 12-volt signal to the transmission at wide open throttle for the automatic downshift.
Yep.
And so you could do these, virtual switches that are completely automatic. You just set the parameters, and then you're just grounding a relay. So it should be pretty good.
Little jealous, both you guys are out in your shop, and I'm sitting here in my little office.
I pulled that off the wall before.
We used to have an office shop, but now I'm in my garage. So, but it's comfy because I could just go right in the house.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. So it's good. I saw that car at SEMA at the bottom of the ramp, and I was like, "Whoa!" I just like, look at this. My wife was like, "What is it?" I go, "Well, a little bit of this and a little bit of that." Oh God! I go, "Yeah," and like thousands of hours worth of labor.
Well, it's actually one car.
Yeah.
It's not a little bit of this and that. It's all one. It's
just
all
totally modified.
Right.
Modified, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I get my last name's Walker, so some people say I Walkerized it.
Cool. Very good.
Walkerized.
Yeah.
No, I loved it. I thought it was great when I saw it.
Fun little car. Thank you.
Yeah. Should be good.
We actually had fun with that. We kind of stood off to the side of the ramp, and it was fun. We really enjoyed listening to, and I'm not saying that's what happened with you and your wife, but we enjoyed the mansplaining a lot because people would come by, and even just to each other, and people would try to oftentimes say what they thought it was, and like, well, yeah, this is an Impala, and it's it's got a Corvette front end on it. It's got that's where that curve in the fender comes from, the Corvette. So they put a Corvette on the front. No, it's actually just all El Camino. And there was a lot of people. It was really fun to watch people kind of try to explain it, and didn't usually get it right, but it was fun.
You get that all the time, though. There's a lot of people that just, you know what it is. They're not us.
Right.
They
Don't
like
you think
cars.
it'd be fun sometimes getting like that hidden camera inside your car with a microphone?
Right.
So when people are checking out, you could kind of see what they're hear what they're talking about. And,
We're supposed to say that. Those are
right.
I've had people through the years think that my Trans Ams that I had were Corvettes, and I'm like, really? You know, or a Camaro, and I'm like, well, you know, under the skin they're really kind of the same. It's just a little difference in the sheet metal, but
yeah.
You know, it's some people are hardcore car guys, and some people are casual, and the casual ones, you know, a lot of stuff doesn't impress them.
Right.
You never know.
Yeah, I got an argument with somebody because they said they were telling me that the car was an Impala, and I said, well, no, actually it's an El Camino. Oh, no, it's an Impala. And I was like, well, no, you know, until I walked around the back and opened the bed of it, because it, you know,
she dropped the tailgate, and all of a sudden he's like, oh yeah, and a Impala would have a trunk lid, not a tailgate. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
Oh, that's wild. This car may be at
Yeah.
Yeah, we were asked by Chris Alston, about bringing this car. We'll probably have that once I get done with it, the end of next month. Then it's just got to go to the owner who owns a body shop, and he's just going to paint it. He's already got all the interior stuff ready to go. So
nice.
this car could literally be, you know, it'll be flogged and tuned and mechanically ready to rock and roll when I deliver it up to him in Pennsylvania, and then it's up to him to get the paint exactly how it's got to be, and then put the interior in along with whatever other electronics he's going to add to it. So technically this car could be ready to throw in a trailer by September or October.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But they approached me because they had seen photos on Facebook, and you know, we used their equipment as the chassis. He's got a really, really super nice bolt-in front subframe for Camaros, Firebirds, for a lot of different cars, really.
Yep.
And it just makes a ton of room, and it's got awesome suspension with a power rack, coilovers, and then we did his mini tubs and his narrowed 9-inch rear with a 4-link on it. And the car still looks totally stock, which is the great thing. And you get really big tires under it without doing a full tub job like a Pro Street drag car. So it'll be pretty cool. So they did call and say, hey, you know, we'd be interested, and keep us posted on what you're doing.
That's cool.
We'll make a decision during the summer, because he's got room for like 4 cars in his display area. So we'll see what happens. So this may go. Not sure. I go to SEMA every year, and I don't know, I'm kind of thinking about maybe I might sit this one out, just because of the fact that they're kind of just getting back to doing things, you know.
Right, yeah, you don't want to, yeah.
Bringing this huge crowd, and, you know, I don't know. Nobody knows what's going on with this virus.
Right, like we were talking, like, a lot of the international people will the international flights be opened up and be able to, you know, ship all their stuff over, and what kind of horrors are going to be in trying to get that stuff unloaded, and will it have to be quarantined for how long, or will it just be allowed right in, or what? But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I got some time still to decide on what to do, and maybe we'll just go to the PRI show this year instead, because I'm sure I'm going to be hunting down stuff I need for the Trans Am. Where some of the companies that I would deal with would not be at SEMA and would be at PRI, strictly because it's more race oriented, and the booth price is nowhere near the price of a booth at SEMA. So a lot of the smaller.
Sorry.
It's an 81.
81?
Yeah. So, you know, a lot of the smaller speed companies, they don't have the money to do SEMA, so they'll do PRI.
Yeah.
You know, some years we do both. Some years we just do SEMA. My wife loves to go to Vegas. You know, she likes those slot machines.
Yeah.
So it's always a good time. For me, it's a vacation, and I get to meet people from all around the country, all my friends, all these crazy people, and every year I always run into somebody that I haven't seen in a while, and they're like, "What are you doing here?"
You just call us crazy people.
So I always get that question. It's like, I thought you were playing with fish.
Yeah.
You get out of the car rut. Like, yeah,
it sucks you back in.
Like the Godfather, he sucked me back in.
When it's in your blood, it's just in your blood. That you just can't get away from it. You know,
it's absolutely ridiculous. So it's good. It's really good. And the cool thing is, I've been finding stuff. I was telling Ray the other day. Ray, you know, I found the photos of that dragster.
Oh, great!
That Bernie did.
Yeah.
I've also found photos of what it looks like now.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, if you can get me that stuff, we want to put this together for the weekend. So whatever you got. And, you know, I was thinking you the other night, because I dragged these old magazines into the bathroom, and I was reading a super stock from 1976, and they have the new for 76 NHRA rules.
Oh, wow.
So it's funny to read, like what's new for 1976.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been chasing cars that my chassis shop built.
That's great.
We're finding them. And I'm just amazed because I started in 79 and I sold the business in 2001. So the last car that I had anything to do with was in 2001, June of 2001. And the chassis tags all reflect that. And I've been finding people that are still running cars that we built, or the car's been sold to 3 other people, and they find me somehow through Facebook or whatever, Plus, all the chassis tags have the phone number of the company on it, and the guys that bought the shop from me worked for me. So when somebody calls, they know the car, and then they refer that owner directly to me. So it's pretty cool. I have cars that are in Canada, in Puerto Rico, all around the country. And we've been finding them and then posting, photos and stuff of them. And I found that dragster on Racing Junk.
Oh, nice.
Pretty wild.
Nice.
Yeah, I looked around and I did some digging the other night through Racing Junk and just kind of whittled it down. And I put in 260-inch wheelbase because that was a big drag. It was an alcohol dragster basically.
Right.
And there was only 3. And it came up, and I had heard that the car was red. And the thing that jumped out at me immediately, because I had seen another picture of another dragster, and it had the same exact nose and wing tips. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of weird, I actually looked at a picture of the car the dragster we sent to Puerto Rico. And I did A/B, and I'm like, they got the same nose on them. What's going on with that,
Wow.
That was kind of weird. So then when I was looking at this red one, I saw the light that Bernie put in the wing structure. He did he took a piece of chrome moly tubing and he cut it 1, 2, 3 times, made 3 sets in the bandsaw, ran it, turned it, ran it, turned it, ran it. So, and then he took those slots and he hammered over the anvil, hammered them down, and he built up like a cone.
Yeah.
But rounded, not just pointy, rounded like a bullet.
Wow. And
then we stuck an LED taillight in there. And he drilled a hole, and then we put it through the mount, and we drilled a hole into the wing structure, and we snaked the wire for the light all the way through the wing, and it comes out right back down the bottom by the attachment point with a weather pack plug.
Right.
So take the wing off, it's no problem. And that's a totally custom tail light.
Sure.
And
Just
there
so you guys
it was
know where
on
we're
this
going
car.
here.
I'm like, this is the car.
We had a local chassis builder from my area out here in Long Island, Bernie Shacker, who passed away last week at 87 or 88. And John and I worked with him, and we're putting on a radio show. We're putting together a tribute. I had him on the show it was 2011, the week after I had Richie Zool. We had Bernie Shacker, so that was a good run. And I was going through the show scrubbing clips, and we asked him, Bernie, why was that car 216 inches? It was just an oddball number, no one had done that. And he says, he laughs. And, the way he would talk, I forgot how endearing his personality was. He was such an easy guy to talk to and listen to. He said, it's so simple. He goes, that's what fit in my garage. He goes, when I built it, that's what fit. He goes, so that's the size it was. Funny. Wow. Crazy.
We have a
If you never heard of Bernie, he actually built a legitimate rear engine dragster before Don Garlitz, but he doesn't get the credit for it.
Yes.
He also built a streamliner.
Yeah.
That had the whole body work, covered the engine and everything. He was way ahead of his time. He worked for me for a while at my chassis shop.
Yeah, for sure.
He was awesome. Guy was just so awesome.
Yeah.
It's a shame. I found a bunch of pictures also from the Long Island Racers reunion that they had at Englishtown, where we all got these awards and plaques for our, my work in the automotive industry in New York.
I was supposed to go to that, and I couldn't make it that weekend.
Sure, that was awesome. I didn't even expect it. They surprised me on that one. Walter, the announcer from the track.
Walter Fry, yeah.
Walter Fry, yeah. He's like, hey, man, you should come. There's going to be a whole bunch of people here.
Yeah.
Get on the plane and come on up. So I told Barb, I said, I'm going to go to Pennsylvania. I'm going to go to Englishtown for a couple of days in 2 weeks. And she was like, all right, I got stuff to do. Like, I'll be at the condo. See ya. So I go up there, and next thing I know, I hear I see all these people. And I'm like, wow, this is great. What a great reunion. All these older, guys that had so much to do with New York racing,
Yeah, I know Billy Lynch and George Snyzik was there, and I think probably
Lindsay Romano
was there, right?
Pontiac, most famous Pontiac guy ever.
Yeah.
Ed Eaton from National Speedway.
Right, the owner of the track owner, sure.
Yeah. There was a lot of Eddie Alessi from Select.
Right.
So that was a great reunion. And then they call my name, and I'm like, whoa, what's that all about?
Yeah.
So I got this plaque for my contribution to motorsports.
Nice.
I was pretty humbled by that one.
That's cool.
I was just some punk, messing around with cars.
Yeah.
Turned it into a business.
So what's going on with tools, Brian?
Oh, Brian, I gotta show you something while you're talking.
Huh?
I gotta show you a picture while you're talking.
Yeah, no, just waiting for my blue ratchets.
Yeah.
We got a new color change for the handle, and I don't know, just out pre-selling, and hopefully they come in pretty soon. But unfortunately, it's very popular, and it looks like it's going to be a month before I get them.
Look at that cabinet. That's cool. The sidewalk.
Yeah.
That's a cool color. That
green, like
Sublime.
Like caterpillar green.
That's pretty cool.
The guy took the door off the center part. The upper cabinet. He said he kept hitting his head on it, so he took it off completely, put it away, and he just used it as an open counter. I was trying to find, to this day I still can't find it, this hose.
What's that for?
This is that thing that comes off. This is the bent hose that comes off the actuator on a Turbo 400.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I went to all the auto parts stores. I went to Napa. Nobody even knows what the part number for this thing is.
Yeah.
It's just a molded hose.
That's it.
Which would make my life real easy to do what I need to do.
Sure.
And the guy at Napa said, "Why don't you go down to the Amco transmission place?" So I went down there, started talking to the guy, and he was like, "Nah, I don't have anything like that." He goes, "You got to realize that we do a lot of rebuilds." He goes, "Very rarely will we change a vacuum hose."
Yeah, that would be in the Chevy parts book.
Yeah. So he takes me in the shop, and he's got a on the engine stand to match the color of his toolbox. He's got a twin turbo small block Chevy.
Oh, that's nice.
That he's been building, and he's going to put it in a 27 T bucket. I was like, whoa. So it was cool when I walked around the back of the shop. He goes, "Oh, I got to show you something." And I walked back there, and there's this big Matco toolbox. I'm like, "Oh, I got to take a picture of that for my buddy." And then around the corner again was a matching engine. The guy loves that color green. So he's going to have that engine. It was all painted, and it's just about ready to go into the car. So I was like, wow, that's cool. So he took my number. He's like, "Man, if I need some ideas or help or something, I'll call you." And I'm like, "All right, no problem. I'm just around the corner." So it's because a really nice looking box. Sublime is what they call it.
Green.
You know,
that's what they call it.
Ground Up, John, Ground Up is listing transmission vacuum lines. There's no visual. You want to search this number? You got a computer here? That's a 400, right?
Turbo 400, yeah. I don't have anything to write on. I got 500,000 pages from Vintage Air.
XTV.
Instead of giving you a book, they give you like 6 books.
Oh, I know.
What's the number?
XTV 6805. And let me pull it up. It actually comes up on Amazon. Oh no, it's a full size. They're calling it a vacuum line, but it's a hard line. That's no good.
You know, that's what the guy at the transmission place said. That's what I should do.
Yeah.
You know that hard plastic lines they sell?
Oh, yeah.
He said you can get that stuff. He said, and you can get it like on a roll.
Right.
He said, or straight like sticks. He said, and you take your heat gun.
Yeah.
Put a little bit of heat in it, and you can kind of give it a bend.
Classic Industries has the same line. It's $30.
I might do that because it's
right.
real easy to snake that right down from the engine down to the transmission.
Sure. Yeah, they're not showing the that vacuum hose, even though it says
weird. What's probably the easiest thing for me to do is to call Eddie at Select,
right,
and say, "Can you send me another one of those hoses?"
Oh, if he has,
probably get 1,000 of them.
Sure, if he's got it, why not?
Yeah. But you would think something like that would be pretty simple to find.
You would,
and it's not.
Right.
And I actually have, thankfully, the 3 auto parts stores that are here: Advance and O'Reilly, and what's the other one? Another one, and Napa. Those guys all know stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
It's not like, "Hey, I need this," and they're like, "Oh, what car is that from?"
Right.
I just need this. So it's pretty cool. And I found a perfect fitting lower radiator hose for this car.
Nice.
I had no clue, because nothing fit, because the radiator is almost 6 inches wider than normal. So a Camaro radiator hose doesn't work. Then the guy said, "Well, just go walk around in the back." He says, "And take a look." So I found a couple of hoses I grabbed with the hook, and I was measuring. And the first one that I took, all I had to do was cut like 3 inches off the 1.5 inch side.
Beautiful. Went
right on the motor. I was like, nice. Perfect.
Yeah, the luck of the Irish, it would have been the last one I found. I would have
yeah.
Well,
I'm right there with you. I got no luck at all. I would have searched for probably a week.
Yeah. I found about 4 or 5 different hoses that all looked like they were going to work, but I picked that one, and I brought it home, and it was just awesome. So that works out good. So the top hose though is going to be an AN hose. So I have a thermostat housing that's got a a number 20 AN nipple on it, so I can use a real AN end and hose and everything. And then I have a special adapter, which is kind of like those. You ever see like those gator grip deals that they sell for plumbing?
Yeah.
You know, it's got an O-ring and it crushes down. And I think I sent you the link. There's a company that sells adapters like that you put on any type of hose, like a radiator nipple or something like that. But then it converts it to AN, legitimate AN. So I was like, that's perfect for the top. You know, nobody can see the lower radiator hose in this car, but the top one is going to be fully exposed. So you'll have a legit AN upper hose. So that should be pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
So did I get that right, Brian? You're like came up with your own ratchet, your own.
Oh no! I sell.
No?
I sell Matco tools.
Oh, okay.
So you know, like I said, we had a new color that came out, and I just between pre-selling and seeing them on the internet, people have been putting orders in, and I don't know. I think I was up to 25 or 28 ratchets, and we had to go to our regional meeting yesterday, place the order, and of course I get my order form this morning, and it's like back ordered until July. So.
What's the length on that ratchet, Brian?
Huh?
What's the length of that ratchet?
That's I think it was 15 inches.
Yeah, it was long.
Oh, that's a good length.
Yeah, 15 with a flex head.
Locking flex.
Half drive or 3/8?
3/8.
And that's a locking flex, right?
Locking flex. Yep.
Nice.
That's a nice piece.
I have one down. Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully, like I said, I was going to do a promo selling them with 1 in 4 chance for a remote control car. So I have one dealership that's over 120 people in it. So nice. I figured it's 6 buildings. So I figured if I could do 3 promos in there in one day, that'd be a good day.
Yeah.
So Brian, do you have any of those dealerships where the dealership sets up all of the toolboxes?
Yes, I've had that happen to me, or I've had that in a couple of my dealerships.
I noticed when we took Barb's car into the Mercedes dealer. Actually, the day we were getting the car,
John.
They had this huge picture window.
John, hang on a second. You got to write down a number because we're going to run out of time.
Okay.
My friend Billy just sent me a ground up link that I didn't. It's not not the same one in my catalog. It looks like number Frank Thomas Michael FTM 12903. It is. Cool. It's a 90-degree hose coming off a modulator.
Yeah.
So he's got a catalog to me though.
Yeah, that's the one. In the Mercedes dealership, it was all Matco stuff. But we're talking like 40 bays.
Yeah.
And each bay was identical, and they were all like up against each other with workbenches and side cabinets and the whole deal. And they were all this really, really cool blue.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, you got guys working in here. You know, you may get a guy, it's a Snap-on guy, and he's working out of a Matco box. But if you're a mechanic at Mercedes, that's what you're doing there.
Yeah, not most of the time those are all filled with the tools also. They don't have a lot of extra. So it's you buy the box and then you buy all the tools and it all goes in there. And it's got like an aircraft liner drawer where they're foamed and it's spaced out so you can't, you know if something's missing or whatever.
Oh, okay. Kind of like a gun case where everything drops in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it a sapphire blue?
It was a
color like a lighter blue.
Kind of almost. It was like a dark blue, like a Ford logo, and just made it darker.
Yeah.
Nice, really
sapphire
nice.
Blue.
Yeah, brushed aluminum handles. Gorgeous, Bob.
A minute to bewitching hour, guys.
All
I
right.
know it's almost
1 minute warning.
I was just totally impressed that it's like a 40 bay shop,
right.
and every single one was identical.
I almost had a Ford dealership to buy that, and once I got done with all the drawings, he got fired.
Oh god.
That was $1.2 million almost.
Wow.
That's too bad.
Crazy.
Yeah.
We got
29 bays.
10 seconds.
I just want to say,
Chris,
thanks for letting us hang out with you guys. That's been awesome. Great.
We'll come look for you at SEMA. It was great meeting you guys.